Alright, everybody, welcome back to my reviews. This is episode 9, and we're still on Power Rangers, the audio drama, season 1, episode 9, and the title is called Fallout. Now, even though this episode's a nice, about 55 minutes long, the title is a little misleading to some degree, in my opinion, because although the Rangers unite within themselves and make an amends among themselves and become a whole team once the episode's over, the Fallout title doesn't have to deal with them. Remember that. Because this episode starts with an announcement from the U.S. president on television that there is a kill order, a shoot on sight order out against the Power Rangers. Yes, the government is wanting to stop them. Why? Well, like our government does, it doesn't like things it can't control. And that's all I'm going to go with on that topic. But their president makes an announcement to the Rangers, to the world. Join us or else. And while this announcement's being broadcast, Goldar is watching it. He enjoys it. So he gets a bright idea. Why not invoke a fight? Bring out a monster. Bring out something. So he goes to Finster, the monster maker. Now, although the show pretty much only talked about one particular monster in past episodes, there was a slight mention that other monsters were made. So there's no telling how many monsters have been made in these couple of months of them trying to get the coins from the Rangers. But Finster tells Goldar that he's at the last of his material, that this is something Lord Zed wouldn't want to happen. Because Zed's not restocking them. He's not giving them the extra material for stuff. Goldar says he doesn't care. He's just doing his best to make a leadway for Zed to come in and make the world think he is saving the day. Why? Because 1, Earth doesn't know about Zed yet. And 2, the more grief he can make between the world governments and the Rangers, the better for them. It will bring the Rangers to fight on 2 fronts. On the intergalactic side of now Goldar and Zed's forces, and the forces on Earth that are already there, that they know and to some degree trust, or think they can trust. Well, Goldar leaves, Finster does his work, yada yada yada, but at the same time, Finster, yep, I got one right here. This dude goes and keeps visiting Rita in her cell. Because last episode, Rita lost all her rank and was forced to go into the brig. Well, Finster keeps bringing Rita books from her mother's library, or collection, that is in Rita's library. Rita learns more about her family, more about herself, more about what she can do with and without her staff. Now, this whole time, before she made Tommy the Green Ranger, she was siphoning power out the coin to make it stronger. Well, one of her rings that she always wears, she learns has more power to it. She learns she can cast spells. So now Rita in this episode becomes the evil witch us Power Ranger fans know and love to hate. Or hate to love. So she gets a power upgrade. She starts to lead a mutiny against Goldar. Of course, her own mutiny. And while all this is happening, now granted, her mutiny didn't really start until the monster was sent, so I did kind of skip around a little bit. But at the same time, the Rangers are arguing in the command center about what they should do. Now remember, Kim's at home. Kim's not a part of this anymore. Tommy is off somewhere. Now granted, he is back home now. The Rangers don't know that. But they argue. Should they try to confront the government? Talk with them? Turn themselves in? All that coming from Jason. Thinking that they can trust the government. Everyone else, and including Zordon, kind of disagree. They don't want to take the risk. They don't want to feel like they're giving up their control of their own powers to limit them from helping everyone in the world to just one nation. Can you blame them? No. Well, sorry, I had to look over my notes. I got sidetracked. Well, also in this episode, Kimberly finds out her parents are separating, getting ready to divorce. That they've not had a great relationship as Kimberly thought they had. Now, Kimberly's dad doesn't spill the beans about who the Rangers are. Now, he does talk with Kim, admitting that he's happy that she's no longer a part of this. And that if she talks to the other Rangers, to let them know they should turn themselves in. Because he doesn't want to see them get hurt. He is pulling the parent card on that one. And as a parent, I can't blame him too much. Because he doesn't know what's going to happen. He just doesn't want to see them get hurt. And also, right before the monster attacks, Tommy, we find out, is in therapy. And he has a good therapist. Listen to it and find out what the therapist tells him. So he ends up deciding that he's going to say screw everything and he's going to join the fight. So while he's in therapy, it gets interrupted by the monster attack. And at this moment, I'm going to have to say, TikTok, come back for part 2. And YouTube, I will carry on. Alright, carrying on from TikTok to part 2 now. For them and still continuous for YouTube. This fight, we learned a lot. That even though the Rangers are down one Ranger and her Zord, the main chess piece of the Megazord. Pretty much a key component to the Megazord. That they can't form it. And I'm getting ahead of myself, so sorry about that. I did skip over the note. At first, the Rangers are fighting the putties and the monster. Of course, Goldar didn't make a show because he's watching it from the repulsor. And Rita is making her charge to the bridge. But the Rangers are fighting, and Tommy joins the fight, which gives them the edge, and they figure out a way to defeat the monster. They put it down for the count. It's not completely dead. It's not moving. It's just down for the count. Well, in that process, they realize they are surrounded by the U.S. Army. They aren't just soldiers. They're tanks all around them. And the general of that group, battalion, I think that's what it's called for the Army. Sorry, I was raised Air Force, so forgive me for not knowing Army terms. They yelled at the Rangers to surrender. Or else. Jason tries to reason with them, making sure they know that they are needed, no matter what they think. That these threats, the Army and the rest of the military cannot take care of. Now, the discussion's a bit longer, and in different words. But does he portray them? We really don't know, because Rita makes her grand appearance. The Rangers all finally get to meet her. Not just Tommy. And in this aspect, when she appears, the conditioning in Tommy's brain comes back. Now, the chip isn't there to control him, to make him listen. So, he takes a moment. He fights through it. He overcomes it. And he vows to destroy Rita. And everything that she's done to, because of everything she's done to him. Well, Rita exposes her newfound powers. Not on the Rangers. Not on the government. But on the monster. She raises it up. Brings it back to full health. And while the monster's not fully grown, as in, make my monster grow, he is already attacking not just Rangers, but the government forces, killing them. Well, a sniper tries to take out Rita. Rita's magic doesn't let that happen, and the building the sniper and his team was in becomes no more. She takes care of it. And then she makes her monster grow with the famous staff hitting the ground, monster growing. The Rangers call on their Zords from everything but the pterodactyl. Tommy's like, I hope, I can't remember the song, and he calls forth his big bad Dragon Zord. Now, he doesn't have the teleportation thing added to it yet. So, Alpha has to locate it and then teleport it to them. Alpha makes a foreshadowing interesting discovery. If you can figure it out, leave a comment. Let me know what it is. I'll tell you if you're right, because I believe it's in the next episode, or episode 10. I am so confused. Episode 10 is the next one. It is in the next episode. Forgive me for that. But just leave a comment. I'll tell you if you're right. Don't cheat. Don't look at the next episode. If you already watched, listen to it, that's fine too. I prefer y'all to listen to it. But he overlooks it, brings in the Dragon Zord, and they're all fighting in their Zords, trying to stop the monster. And they're like, okay, we don't have enough power for the Zords, but yet we can't form the Megazord without Kimberly. Well, if you paid attention to earlier in the episode, not this episode, in the other episode, the audio drama, Billy discovered something. And he fills in the other Rangers. They figure out how to make this other something. If you get where I'm getting at, that's right. The Dragon Zord battle mode makes an appearance. Because it only requires 4 of the 6 Zords. And it's super strong. It is basically on par with the Megazord. So, they form it. They kick butt. The government's watching them kick butt and win the fight. What does the government do? Bombs them. Yep, they send in fighter pilots. Bombs the Dragon Battle Zord. Well, Dragon Zord battle mode. And our friend, the T-Rex. So, Alpha quickly teleports them all away to keep them safe. And sorry. And well, the fight's over. And Kimberly has watched all of this on the news. Now, granted, yes, the whole time she was freaking out because she couldn't help them. Well, later on, my guess, the next day, the next morning, afternoon, I think that's what it said. I forgot. Sorry. Tommy shows up to Kimberly's house to ask for forgiveness, to let her know that he does need her. She receives her power coin and the teleportation watch back. They go to the command center. They talk. No spoilers. And a very interesting twist at the end of it. Rita is saved by a firefighter. Stay tuned to the next one to figure out why. Goodbye.